But I believe your PhD thesis, in fact, was practically completely written, wasn't it?
Yes, I did. I spent a long time. I also taught for a while at a comprehensive school to make the money to keep going, and did most of the writing up. But it's just for the sake of that last bit, and I seriously wonder whether it's ever going to get done now.
And what was the thesis on?
Interplanetary dust, motion of dust between us and the sun.
Oh, very cosmic.
Cosmic. Is there a lot of it? Is there a lot of it?
Yes, there's a surprising amount of it, actually, yes. You can, in fact, see it if you're in the right place at the right time. In a very clear sky, in a very dark sky, you can see...
Tell them about your zodiacal light.
It's called a zodiacal light, yes.
Oh, very well.
Which is a sort of milky glow, which looks something like the Milky Way, but it's a cone of light which stretches up with the sun as a centre.
Where did you observe from? Because I'd have thought London sky at night was a bit murky.
Oh, yes. Well, I went to Tenerife. Well, I went to Italy first, in the Italian Alps. We had an observatory there, but that was plagued with bad weather. And we went to Tenerife. We set up an observatory on Tenerife. I actually organised a hut being built, which had not actually a telescope, but a spectroscope, which is what I used.
Well, let's have some more music. And what we have coming up is The Seven Seas of Rhye. The Seaside. Well, that was the single that broke you, The Seven Seas of Rhye. That began it all. Roger, why was there a little bit of Seven Seas of Rhye on Queen 1 and then repeated on Queen 2?
Well, I think Freddie had half written the song, and we thought it was a nice sort of tail out to the first album. I think we had the idea of starting the second album with the song.
With the finished
song. With the finished song, yeah. So it would sort of lead in nicely. In fact, we ended the second album with this song, and it had changed a little by then, and we released it as a single because we thought it was fairly strong.
Freddie, if I count you as the man what wrote it, the lyrics, what does it mean?
Oh, gosh, you never asked me that. They're basically, my sort of lyrics are sort of basically for people's interpretations, really. I mean, I think I've forgotten what they're all about.
What were the Seven Seas of Rhye?
It's really fictitious. I know it's like sort of bowing out and easy way out, but that's basically what it is. It's just a figment of your imagination. Really.
You have a rather surrealistic approach. Is that the right word? Could I say it to your lyrics?
Good to an imaginative approach, yes.
Imaginative, yes. No, but I mean, it's
an easy way out.
But there's
covers such a lot of area. It really depends on what kind of song, really. I think at that time I was learning about a lot of things, about actual song structure, and as far as lyrics are concerned, they're very difficult as far as I'm concerned. I find them quite a task, and my strongest point is sort of like, say, melody content, and I basically sort of concentrate on that first, the melody and the song structure, and then the lyrics come afterwards, actually.
Are you influenced by Salvador Dali?
Not really. I sort of admire him, yes. It's not as involved as that. I don't sort of take things like paintings too literally. The only time I did do that was in a song called Fairy Fella's Masterstroke, where I actually sort of I was thoroughly inspired by a painting by Richard Dadd, which is in the Tate Gallery. And I thought that sort of did a lot of research on it, and it sort of inspired me to write a song about the painting, depicting what I thought I saw in it.
What did you discover in your research about this painting?
It's just because, I mean, I've come through art college and things like that. I basically liked the sort of artist, and sort of liked the painting, and I thought I'd like to sort of write a song about it.
But we're going to play this track, so...
It's on Queen 2.
How do you sort out which songs are going to go onto an album? Because you all write, don't you?
Yeah. Yes.
We row.
Yeah.
Argue.
Yeah.
We do write individually, so I mean, like, so we go our separate ways for whenever the tour's over or whatever. And then we sort of have a routining period where we sort of get together and sort of play each other the new songs. And then what happens is a sort of a very huge sifting process where we sort of find out what songs...
Like, no way am I going to play that, or...
Things like that. We
Forget
work
it.
it. Also, sort of, as far as the individual song is concerned, and also what will go with how the songs will sort of sound with each other. So it's basically sort of looking in terms of an album as opposed to just individual songs.
Yeah, we have tried in the past to provide a lot of variety on each album, and a lot of contrasts. and so we've had to sort of have a good cross-section of material.
Into March of the Black Queen. Brian, you can say something about Queen.
I thought it was a good idea to play that because Queen 2 is an album which in some ways is the root of all that happened thereafter, I think. And I don't, if people haven't heard that before, I think you could hear that and think that that was something off the new album, really. It still sounds that fresh to me. And there are a lot of things that you can hear, that all the sort of texture work was there, and the intricate harmonies, the guitar harmonies and stuff, sort of the precursor of Bohemian Rhapsody in many ways. So I think that was a very important album for us. It was also the first one which came into the charts.
How long did March of the Black Queen take you to record?
The tape went transparent.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Those were the days of 16-track studios, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, it was 16 track.
You have now 24 and 32-track. But I mean, as we did so many overdubs, I mean, on 16-track it was like we just kept piling it on and on, and it was like, that's what Roger means when the tape went transparent, because it just couldn't take anymore. I think it snapped in about 2 places.
It'd gone over the head so many times, and overdubbing, the oxide had worn off.
It was a big step for us at the time, certainly, because no one was really doing that kind of thing in those days.
In fact, when this album came out, we were doing our own first headlining tour after supporting Mott the Hoople, and gaining an enormous amount of live experience and a large following, really, for a relatively new band.
Well then, Roger, you went on to support Mott the Hoople in the States, right?
Yeah, it seemed a logical step, because it had worked so well, and we got on with them very well personally as well, which doesn't always happen on tours, you know. It's always good if the bands that are touring together do get on well. And so we really took the logical step and went to America with them as well. And we did learn quite a lot of them. They were a really good live band.
Excellent live band.
We had a very good American tour, up to the point when Brian got hepatitis and collapsed, and we had to come home. At which point things looked very black.
Well then, you did an extraordinary thing. Having supported once in England and having supported once in the States, you then went to headline straight away in England, and then you went to headline straight away in the States.
It was quite rare then, yeah, because we did go to sort of playing the Rainbow by ourselves in one sort of step.
We did take a lot of risks, actually. I think most of them paid off.
Yeah, most of them.
In the States, you got yourselves an American manager.
Well, we already had him, in fact. He was taken on by, but it helped us for when we went to America. He was taken on by Trident, which is the company which we were signed to at the time, a sort of production deal. And I think he helped in many ways with our introduction to America, being a Yank, you know. He was from California.
Basically, I think we'd signed all the deals, I mean, the recording deals and the publishing deals. So, in effect, we were signed to Trident, and at a later stage, Jack Nelson, who's the person we're talking about, came in to sort of look after the management side of things. So he was brought in at a later stage.
Yeah,
sure.
We should make it a little clear. When we came to the point of signing record contracts, there was a few record companies who were interested, but instead of doing that, we signed to a production company, and the deal is that you record for them, and they then do a deal with the record company. So you have a kind of middleman. And Trident with this middleman.
At the time, it seems a good idea, because an established company, a fairly high-power established company, seems more able to deal with the fairly high-powered record companies than the mere novice, humble musicians.
There is a huge basic drawback in the fact that your manager is then your record company, and you don't have anyone who can represent you to the record company. So you have an impossible situation where it's basically the band against everyone else, and it generated friction in every department.
All right, well now we come on to your third album, Sheer Heart Attack, and the biggest hit from that, which went to number 2 in November '74, was Killer Queen.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet with the cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette.